Hi, and welcome to TV My Husband Hates. I'm Kat Sims.
And I'm Reagan Kempton.
And we are reality TV addicts.
Addicts, aficionados.
Ooh, I like that. Experts.
Experts.
Basically, we know our shit when it comes to reality TV.
100%.
Hey guys, and welcome to another week of TV My Husband Hates. How are you doing, Reagan?
I'm good. We missed you guys last week. We had to skip a week just for various reasons, but we're going to kind of cram all last week into this week too, because there's just a lot of shit going on. But I'm good. How are you?
I mean, I'm good. I feel like I was saying earlier to Jimmy, I feel on the inside like the opening weekend at Ibiza, because the kids have done the last homeschool. They're going back to school on Monday. But on the outside, I'm so exhausted that it's like it looks like broken. I'm at a funeral. Do you know what I mean? So like, those are my conflicting feelings. But emotionally, I'm on a high. Physically, I'm like on the floor.
Well, I mean, I'm massively excited for everybody in the UK who finished up homeschooling today, because obviously we record this on a Friday, so it's the last day. You guys all made it. Hopefully you're all alive and in one piece. And I'm so excited for your kids to go back to school on Monday.
Well, just to clarify, it is England. Wales still there, so it's not the full UK. So Wales is still
locked down.
Their kids are not going back, yeah.
What about Northern Ireland?
Don't know.
What about Scotland?
I think they've been back for a little bit.
Okay, good. All right. Well, our hearts are still with you, Wales.
Yeah.
And possibly Northern Ireland.
Yes. I mean, obviously, I should know more about that stuff. But, there comes a point where you just give up watching the news.
You know what?
And you're like,
you've got to fucking watch kids all the time and you've been in lockdown for 2.5 months. You can be fucking pardoned for not keeping up with everybody else's news.
It is 2.5 months.
It's totally fine. It's
2.5 winter months in lockdown.
The dark days, the real dark days.
These will forever be known now as the days of darkness. The days of darkness. So we've got quite a lot to chat about this week. We are going to unusually, not weirdly, but unusually, we are going to include the Below Deck reunion in this. It's only one episode and it felt like the right thing to do.
For sure.
So we will be doing the Below Deck reunion, but we're also introducing BDSY, as we like to call it, which is BDSY, which is Below Deck Sailing Yacht, which is back with a bang. And I'm excited because I don't like my life without Below Deck, frankly.
No, I don't either. I'm really glad we have 3 franchises of Below Decks to carry us throughout the entire year. This one should be really interesting because I read somewhere that everybody was actually quarantined on the ship. So all the crew couldn't leave. So they are ship bound for the entire charter season, which I think is going to make this super interesting.
Well, and also because this isn't a super yacht. I think that would be okay if you were on a super yacht, which is still small, but
yeah.
But this is way more cramped in terms of space.
For sure.
And they have Jean-Luc is 6'9".
He's massive. Yeah.
He is. We'll get on to that.
For sure.
Let's jump straight into it. Let's do this Below Deck reunion because we'd really been looking forward to this. And I don't know how you felt about it, but I felt it was a bit of a damp squib. I still don't know what a squib is, by the way. I just felt a bit underwhelmed by it.
For sure. I mean, I think it was not a super great season. I mean, it was nice that nobody was other than Rob, was being outwardly misogynistic. So that was a nice break. But yeah, other than that, it was just it was a very vanilla season. And I don't think it would have gotten any spicier had COVID not shut everything down. I think it just was what it was.
I mean, I think it was the reunion itself that I felt let down by because sorry about that, because I wasn't.
No, that's all right.
Because I feel like nobody really held Rachel and her drinking to account as much as they could have done. Do you know what I mean? I felt like it was sort of just okay. No, we didn't talk about that scene where she grabbed microphones from the band and all of those kinds of things. And I just thought, and obviously Rob didn't turn up. Let's talk about that.
No, I mean, he's gold digging in New Zealand, which I don't know if it's a euphemism or he's actually digging for gold.
Well, I think he is actually digging for gold, but I mean,
It's
what
better
it's
in my
in.
mind where he's just like hunting rich old ladies.
Yeah,
That
or rich old men.
pictures. Oh, or rich old men. Fair, fair.
Let's be
Be
equal
equal opportunist in our gold digging.
in our bashing. Yeah. Interestingly, I feel like we didn't ever see the real Rob. Like we were
No.
clear that he wasn't really involved. We didn't see very much of him, and we forgot that he was there at times, apart from towards the end where he started to show his true colors to Izzy. But it was interesting what Izzy said about him being rude to production and not even
Yeah.
really wanting to do it,
Right.
and all of that stuff.
Yeah, I liked that she called him weak because I think that actually sums up exactly who he is. Like, who's just kind of an asshole, like a low key asshole too. Like, which I think is the worst kind. Like, if you're gonna be an asshole, just fucking be an asshole. Don't hide it behind like a nerdy, chill exterior when you're just a raging dick on the inside. Just be
Well,
a
and
raging dick.
I think that's also a real sign of him actually being a raging dick. Because I think these people on
Yeah.
reality TV shows that act like absolute wankers and really play it up and do all the rest of it. But I think, probably 50-60% of that is for the cameras. So to be
Yeah.
so dickish that you can't even be asked to do
be a
your
dick.
job on camera, to be a dick on, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's not playing a part in any way. This is who
Right.
he is.
Yeah.
And for him not to turn up is just lame. And Izzy's
It is
absolutely right. And
super
it
lame.
didn't do him any favors not turning up.
No. No, but I'd almost forget. So then we see Shane come in, and I had almost forgotten he was even on the show.
I had totally forgotten. I was looking and going, I was like, who's that? And then I remembered.
Because he's still is
Sustainable
standing
Shane.
by, right? And he's still standing by that he gave that job 100%. I'm like,
I don't know what to do with this boy. I don't know whether to like wrap him in cotton wool and put him in my pocket and look after him till the end of days, or whether to like smack him upside the head and tell him to just grow up. Because
yeah,
this kid is so, I'm trying to think of a word that isn't going to offend somebody. I mean, he's kind of a pussy. He just needs to just
yeah,
step up.
for sure. I mean, if he was my kid, I'd smack him. I would not wrap him in any more cotton wool than he's already been in. He needs to like get a clue and get a real life.
Yeah, it's this snowflake thing. And I don't like that term because I
Right.
think that some people use it broadly to like, if
For
you're
sure.
quite liberal and inclusive, people will call you a snowflake.
Right.
That's wrong. But I do think that there is this sort of kind of person, slightly of the younger generation, that has this sort of sense of entitlement. And I think
Yeah.
Elizabeth's a little bit the same.
For sure.
It's
I was
like,
just about to say, Shane, meet Elizabeth. Elizabeth, meet Shane. You are the same person.
yeah, just this assumption that everybody has to be really gentle and kind and nice with you. And it's like, it's not how it is.
No, and it's not how it can be all the time because it's not
No.
like people were fucking raging at them all the time. I mean, people were actually very nice to both Elizabeth and Shane, despite
Considering
their
what
multitude of fuckery.
I mean, they were
they
about as
decided
much
to get
use
up
as
to.
tits on grandma.
100%. Like, like they were shown way more patience than I've ever shown for people not doing their
Totally.
job.
And they're like, you weren't nice to me. It's like, well, you didn't do your job. Like, you
Right?
can't turn up, make my life more difficult, not do
No.
your job, and then whinge that I'm not fucking nice to you. I'm too busy doing your job to be fucking nice to you.
For sure. And this is why Rachel can be a fucking asshole because all of her jobs were done.
Totally. And I mean, and I still don't like her assholery,
No.
assholery either. But at least she's done her job.
For sure. And did it really well. There were no fucking complaints. There were no complaints about her food the entire
Unheard of.
season.
Unheard of.
Yes.
She was amazing.
She was. But a psycho.
But yeah, Shane, let's talk about the psycho Rachel, because this kind of, I felt like she got off the hook easily. And I think this is how she goes through life because she is so good at what she does. Yeah. People give her so much rope.
For sure. For sure. And I mean, I don't know if this is how she is all the time or, because I do feel that like she kind of explained like, I think a lot of her shit was because of COVID, like because she didn't know what was going on. She was really fucking scared and alcohol did not help that at all. But I don't know. I would love to see her on another season just to see if it's the same or different in like a non-COVID setting. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I think you're right. I think probably she was more affected by the COVID stuff than was made clear.
Right.
But I think she was mean to people. I think she bullied
Yeah.
some people, and I don't think any of that came up
No.
really.
I mean,
And I
I
think
think
she
this
should have been hammered for the way she spoke to James.
yeah, this reunion was very weak. It didn't really keep anybody accountable. Like it was just kind of like, this is what happened. And we're like, well, we know what happened. It was like 10 episodes, like not even 10 episodes.
Yeah,
We're
and
not
I guess
idiots.
maybe it's just because, like you said at the beginning, it's just a reflection of the season itself.
Yeah.
But we did get a little bit of chat about James and Elizabeth, and James, I'm really torn on James. Part of me, when he explains it, and he's like, look, we both lived in completely different countries.
Yeah.
I thought that this was really clear as to what this was a boatman. Like, this is what this was. Yes, I should have been more aware when she developed more feelings for me. But, when he puts it like that, there is part of me that's like, I mean, he's not wrong.
He's not wrong. And I mean, all of this stuff is edited, and I do try to keep that in my head. Like,
yeah,
I need to sometimes give people the benefit of the doubt because this is a reality TV show and it has been edited to show and highlight certain things. And I don't know, even if James sat down with Elizabeth and was like, this is only for the boat, we are just fucking around. I don't know if Elizabeth would have believed him.
No, and I think her approach was to try and come on and be cool and go, I'm not hurt, it's fine. And actually, she was really, really hurt. And that's fine. Like,
yeah,
if you fall for somebody, you fall for somebody.
Who hasn't been there?
Well, the thing is, I sort of feel like Elizabeth falls for everybody. Do you know
For
what I
sure,
mean? I feel like it's...
Didn't she mention, like, at the very beginning of the season, like, oh, I fell into like a bad boatman's on my last boat. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. It's like, oh God.
Yeah, I feel like this is a pattern.
Yeah.
I mean, James didn't handle it great. I mean, watching him like smile when she's fired because he doesn't have to dump her. I mean, I mean, I appreciate that. I mean, that is the gods fucking looking down on him. He got off. I mean, I'd have to smile at that.
I mean, I thought it was funny as fuck, but no, it's not.
I still, you know what? I still like James. I have to say,
yeah.
did anything, I think Elizabeth kind of puts out what she gets back, if that's what I mean.
I mean, that's what she believes in as well, right?
I don't want to say she deserves to be treated badly, but I think she puts herself in positions where it can happen.
I think Elizabeth is a bit naive. Like, I think she thinks everybody is just out to like find peace, love, and harmony and find their person and be together forever. And it's like, that's not the real world. And sometimes you just want to get your rocks off with someone and that just be it. Like, and that's okay. It doesn't make one better than the other. You're just out for different things. And there is a point where you yourself have to be able to tell what people are out for. Like, you can't
100%. You can't rely on somebody else.
No, like, you have to take ownership over your own person. And I feel like that's where Elizabeth lacks a little bit of ownership over her decisions and what she decides to do. And that doesn't rub me the right way.
No, I hear you, and it doesn't rub Francesca the right way either. And I think, I know that Francesca's been copping a lot of shit on social media. I think she is absolutely super professional, on the line, really mature and grown up, very empathetic and forgiving, and just recognize that this was a work thing. Like, that's it. End of. It's not about whether she likes you, Elizabeth. It's about whether you do a good job. And you just didn't.
Yeah. And another, like, this is just going to be me, like, down on Elizabeth, but she was so fucking smug during this reunion that, like, she was amazing and literally everybody else on the boat was shit. Like, it just really pissed me off.
Also, I know it's not very feminist to talk about people's appearances, but I couldn't help but feel she looked like she was about to go like ice dancing.
100%.
Didn't she? Like, she looked like she had an ice dancing dress on. Do you know what I mean?
I don't understand. Like,
Because
why?
she's a really beautiful girl, but
She's
she
gorgeous, has an amazing figure, but she looked crazy.
home way too much makeup,
Yeah.
bad angle. Like lift the cat. It was bizarre. Buy
Oh
a
man.
circle light girl. Sort your
Right?
shit out.
They're not
You
very
know,
expensive. I
they're
have one in the
really not.
car with me right now. I mean, come on.
I've forgotten mine. Mine's downstairs, but I was like, I'd already forgotten my iPad. I didn't want to like fuck it
Oh.
up and have to go down from a circle light again. But yeah, I mean, and to accuse Chess and Ash of bullying, I thought was really, really low. It's like you
It's fucking
can't fling
grasping
that
at
word around.
straws, man.
Yeah,
It's
it's
grasping
not
at
cool.
straws. No. However, I am super bummed that COVID did shut down production because Josiah was going to come back and be in Elizabeth's place, which would have been fucking majestic.
I have missed Josiah. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but Josiah and Kate worked together and they were the one that like, they weren't great when it came to some girl.
No, they kind of made
like
someone feel left out and she cried.
Well, and they like played music at her and banged on her door and shit. It was a bit dark.
Yeah, it got
But
a little
Josiah
like Guantanamo Bay on that boat.
It did get a bit Guam.
Just a touch.
But he was always great fun and he was fucking good at his job.
He was really good at his job. He was hilarious. And he got along with Kate really well. Like,
I know,
scarily
they were like two
well.
peas in
They
a
were
pod.
amazing. Yeah, I would have liked to see him again. I hope
maybe
so.
he'll be back next season now.
Here's hoping. But yeah, so that's the end of Below Deck. The reunion gave us no more insight than we already knew on everybody else.
Yeah, that's it. It's all done and dusted.
Done and dusted.
Okay, so let's move on to Atlanta, where we are going to be discussing the 2 episodes because, of course, we missed like the only action that's ever happened in this season last week. Give us
the most
your
exciting
thoughts.
action ever.
Give us your thoughts, Reagan, on Bollogate.
First off, I think Candy is the fucking queen of bachelorette parties. Like,
me too.
She knows how to get down. She knew that everybody just wanted to have a good time. I didn't even mind them like turning the cameras and wanting to have some like fun off camera. I think all that shit is brilliant. I don't hate them for any of it. I love that they just had a good fucking time. It sounded brilliant. My biggest fucking issue is messy ass Kenya trying to fucking call and shame people out about it the next fucking day.
It's not okay.
Not cool.
What goes on tour, what goes on bachelorette parties stays on bachelorette parties. And it's not, they cut loose. Maybe a few boundaries were blurred. Who gives a shit?
Hey, like, I mean, Cynthia figured out she's kind of a voyeur. Like, that's cool. Like, everybody found their yums, right? Like, you don't yuck people's yums. Everybody was having a yummy good time, but Kenya was the queen of yucks.
But it's also, you're right. And she's just so owning in this judge. She's like, yes, I'm judging you. It's like, how is that, when that comes out of your mouth, how is there not like an alarm that goes off that goes, oh, I'm being a cunt. I should probably retract. I'm being a, yeah. I mean, I just find her so Machiavellian. Do you know what I mean?
So
like,
it's so fucking
scheming.
hard. Right, because you and I talked about this. Like, we both have empathy for what she's going through. We have sympathy for her, and it really fucking sucks dealing with a dude like Mark, and we'll talk about him more later on. But she's still a fucking asshole.
She is, and I was saying to you, I find it really hard because I do feel real compassion for her, and my heart breaks for her when I see how this divorce is going and the things she's dealing with. But then I see her acting like she acts with the girls, and I think, well, you know, like attracts like, and maybe she attracted this asshole Mark because she just is kind of an asshole herself. And
I mean, yeah, go ahead.
I'm not saying that she deserves to be treated that way in a divorce by any means, but I don't know. I think I just feel a lot worse for somebody if they were nice people.
100%. And I think she, like, I don't even understand what's going on in her brain. Like, I don't know why she has such a hard on for Portia. I don't know if Portia is everything that she wishes Kenya wishes she was, like with her daughter and not being with, you know, her daughter's man anymore, but like finding this inner power. Like, I feel like Kenya is so deeply jealous of Portia that she just has to do something to make Portia look like an asshole. And look, it's not going to work for me because Portia's single. She can do whatever the fuck she likes with whomever she fucking likes, and it's fine.
I agree, and I think it all stems from jealousy with Kenya. I mean, I think if I'm going to put,
Yeah,
my psychotherapist hat on, I mean, not
please
that I
do.
have a
Yeah.
psychotherapist hat, but I like to think that I do occasionally. Um, this all stems from her mum, right? And
Right.
this fear of being abandoned and not loved, and the insecurity that comes from that means that she's constantly looking for validation, and she constantly needs to be reminded about how much everybody loves her. And her love language is people doing exactly what she wants them to do, and being exactly the people that she needs them to be. And it's interesting in this week's episode, where she has that talk with LaToya and says, well, the thing is, I have a crush on you. And you're like, oh, so maybe all of this came from her feeling rejected by
Yes.
LaToya because she got off with Portia, which, I mean, those words, I can't even believe I'm saying them. Like,
Yeah.
but that's how Kenya's brain works.
Yeah. Which, speaking of, I was really surprised and happy that Toya called out Kenya last week for that investigation, being like, that was really shitty.
Yeah.
Like, you
and
shouldn't
I mean,
have done that.
if Kenya didn't fancy her, she wouldn't have got away with it. Like, I don't think Kenya doesn't like it when people call you out. So, but I think because she wants to get with her, her.
No,
then
100%.
She let it slide. But Kenya is really, it's really dangerous to be around.
Yeah, and I mean, I think Portia nails it, where she's just like, well, we're not going to fucking hang out with her anymore. Like, that's the way it goes. Like,
we're not going to party with you.
No. You get lame ass tea lunches. We're going to all have like the actual good times, because it's like, you can't trust anybody like that.
No, and also what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to sit here and discuss whether I think Tanya and Portia had a threesome with Bollock, because I honestly don't think it matters. I don't care.
No.
If they did, fine.
Good for them.
None of my business. Good for you. You get your rocks off. Enjoy Bolo. It would be a crying shame if that massive penis didn't get ridden.
It would have
been, you know what I mean? Like, what a wasted opportunity.
Job. He's very good at his job. I mean, if we want to continue job chat, like,
I mean,
he is professional and he fucking brings it.
I do not mind admitting that there were moments where I could quite easily have got fizzy knickers if the whole thing had been a little bit more, if they filmed it better, closer.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Stopped blurring things out annoyingly.
Fucking blurs.
Yeah, he's brilliant at his job. And I think Kenya doesn't get the discrepancy between her being pissed that people aren't looking out for her and helping her and respecting her, versus the fact that she constantly judges and is an asshole to everybody.
Well, this is the thing. Like, if you constantly treat people like shit, they're not going to fucking be your village. Like, you have to be nice to your village. If you want a village, you got to be fucking nice to them. You want them to help you with your kid, you got to be nice. Like, it's
if you want friends, you've got to be nice to them. Like, this is the thing, and this is the thing that Kenya's not getting.
No.
She's like just expecting them to be nice to her. But she's a cunt
after
to them.
Years of abuse.
Years. And I get that I don't ever believe that people are inherently evil or inherently bad. Like, I can see where this behavior comes from. But she has to understand that people can choose to disassociate themselves from that. They can put their own boundaries in.
Yes.
And she doesn't like that.
No, I mean, you know what? I'm a massive true crime fan. You are as well. And you often hear about like these horrific childhoods that these like serial killers have. But you know what? There are a lot of people who have really fucking traumatic childhoods, and they don't fucking murder people. There are people who were left as kids who fucking deal with their shit in therapy where it should be dealt with, and have nice connections with other people. Like, you have to make a choice, and Kenya is not making the choice to be different.
No, she's sitting very comfortably in her space of nastiness, and it is what it is. And I think this is why it's hard for me, because I think as nasty as she is, I do think Mark's nastier.
Oh, fucking for sure. I mean, even throw a token. I mean, why don't we just go into it? So Mark Mark files for divorce in New York, which is illegal anyways, but it was a big fuck you to Kenya that he files the papers first and doesn't even ask for visitation of Brooklyn. Brooklyn is
But
not
asks,
mentioned anywhere.
but asks for alimony.
Yep. Like, you gotta PR that shit, Mark. Like, you could have just thrown it in there. You knew it was going to be thrown out anyways, so you could have put it in there.
I mean, she's not going to let you have her. So
No.
you could have at least pretended to give a shit about your kid.
Oh, he is such a trash human. Like, I can't even.
He's psychopathically narcissistic. Like, he just doesn't. I mean, it blows my mind.
He has kids with somebody else, doesn't he? It'd be interesting to see what that divorce was like.
I mean, God only knows. But why? I mean, I know it's a fuck you, but if he really wanted to do a fuck you, why didn't he just file in Atlanta?
I don't know. Because I think he just likes fucking playing games with her. I think this was the whole thing. Like, he likes being a dick and then being like, he just likes the fucking power and control he has over her. Like, he knew she'd take it as a big fuck you if he filed first. So he did it, even though he has to like recant. But it's just to show her that he can.
I mean,
or get it out in the papers that he did and make her look shitty. I don't know.
Oh, there is that as well. I hadn't thought about that. Like, to at least get it in the press that he filed. Yeah.
Yeah, that he did it at first. He's just that dude.
But also with Kenya,
like on very early episodes, really early episodes of Atlanta, Kenya had this friend named Brandon who was like her ride or die.
Yes.
And he was on the show. I wonder what happened to him.
I think he died. Like, I don't think he died, but in terms of the ride or die, I think
he was like, fuck this, I got to get off the crazy train.
He's
interesting. If anybody knows, let us know.
I forgot about him.
Like,
I mean, that's exciting. But also with Kenya, I'm like, oh girl, when he sends her that playlist and she like starts to think that maybe they're gonna get back together, I was like, are we in high school?
Thank you. Like, do I need to send you a mixtape? Like, come on.
Oh man, I just was like, come on, Kenya, you are better than this. Like, I know I don't like you, but it is over. It is over. You want this man out of your, to be honest, like, you want him out of your fucking life. You want him out of Brooklyn's life. He's not nice.
He's not good. Just move on.
Speaking of moving on, very quickly before we do move on, the guys come home and tell their respective others. Like, first of all, Cynthia telling Mike about the windscreen wiper. And I loved Mike's reaction because, like, he's trying to be cool about it.
Yeah.
He's also,
it obviously bothers him a bit.
A little bit threatened. So he's going to just take the piss out of
right.
When, you know, actually he's feeling a little bit small.
I mean, anybody would.
Right. And then there's Ralph. Oh.
Drew. Good Lord. Like,
I mean, we're
first off,
go on.
I don't like that Ralph throws the move back in her face. Like, well, I had to handle the move because you were gone for a weekend.
First of all, she didn't know they were moving that weekend.
Right?
He decided to move that weekend. It's not like she was like on, like, I would have been pissed.
Yeah.
Like, hang on, I'm away. You can't move while I'm away.
You can just wait till I get home.
Because also this was a power play from Ralph. This wasn't like, this wasn't like, oh, I'm just taking it off your hands. No, it was like, I'm going to do this and I'm going to use it. And also it means I get to do it how I want, the way I want to do it.
But I'm not going to unpack shit. I'm just going to leave all the fucking boxes everywhere. What a dick.
Such a dick. And then Drew's like really open and honest. Yeah, he put his penis on me. You know, right. I mean, what I would do after coming back, like, I had a stripper sit on my face.
He showed me how to like make my ass clap. It's really fucking cool. I'll show it to you later. Like,
yeah,
total normal.
Mean, all of that stuff.
Yes.
But Ralph is just such. I mean, he's so misogynistic. The double standards are rife. He won't tell her even where he stayed in Tampa. And when she's like, what's the name of the hotel? Perfectly legitimate question. He gaslights her and he's like, oh my God, these details are so weird. Why are you even asking for it? It's like,
yeah.
I mean, come on, dude.
I would like them to not be together. Like, she deserves somebody so much better. He's
I
just a
agree.
dick.
He
Like,
really
come
is.
on.
Yeah,
Like, you're being
I
a dick
agree.
about things that you don't even need to be a dick about. Like, even if you did cheat on her in Tampa, just fucking own it and be like, you know what? I went to a hotel, I got a hooker, or I went to a strip club, I had a fucking good time, and I went back home. That's what I did in fucking
And I
Tampa.
think she'd be maybe not
I
with
think,
the hooker, but the
right.
stripper. I
For
think
sure, she'd
strip
be
club she'd
fine.
be fine with.
Yeah.
I mean, she wouldn't have a leg to stand on to not be fair, after coming back with Bolo.
Exactly. I mean, honestly, she kind of gave him an open to like just
Yeah.
fucking own up to shit and move on. So we don't have to fucking hear about Tampa, Florida ever fucking again. Because I'm over it. I don't care anymore. But
Who gives a shit? But with that,
anyways.
so let's move on to the new entry in this week's lineup, BDSY Below Deck Sailing Yacht. Now, if you guys haven't caught Below Deck Sailing Yacht last season, highly recommend that you go and check it out. And
I mean, the
this
boat is
season,
gorgeous. The boat
the
is
boat is
beautiful.
beautiful. And
Those
this
sails are
season,
so fucking sexy.
I know, right? When it goes up and you just see it
Yeah.
heel, and you're like, oh yeah, it is.
That's the
That
shit.
being said, I think if somebody said the super yacht or the sailing yacht, I think I'd like the sailing yacht for a day, but I'd want the super yacht for 3 days.
Fair. Fair. I
Do you
mean,
know what I mean?
yeah, I think I would almost go like if it's between like a week on a super yacht and 3 days on a sailing yacht, I would definitely do the week on the super yacht. Like, you can go to different places and whatever. But the sailing yacht is hot. Like, that would be like, that's a good day, like a day trip for me. Like, let's just get drunk on
Yeah,
like this massive sailboat, sail around, and then like go back. I'd be good for one day.
100%. I'm up for that too. So when are we doing it?
Oh yeah, we've got to get it in the books. Now that you're opening back. So
slowly
exciting.
but surely, we are definitely opening back.
But
right,
back to BDSY. So we're back with Captain Glenn, who I love. I've got a nice spot in my heart for Captain Glenn. I think he's just a good dude.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I mean, agreed. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I think I'm too tired to say the first half of my words.
Fair. Well, let's get through this. Okay, so we've got Daisy, who's the Irish chief stew. What do we think about Daisy?
I like her,
too.
but I feel a bit like she needs to assert her authority a little bit more.
Yeah, fair. Fair. I love her accent. I love an Irish accent.
I do love her Irish accent. Dublin
Yeah.
Irish, I like.
For sure.
Northern Irish is quite harsh. I mean, it's great, but it's quite harsh. But
it's different.
Her accent's beautiful.
For sure.
It's different.
We've got another female chef, Natasha.
Yes, who I quite like the look of. Like, she seems feisty. Don't bring any fucking drama into my galley.
Yeah.
She
takes veganism in stride. Not an issue for her.
Not ruffled. She's like, no problem's too big. We can solve everything. I didn't
Yes.
love the way that like she wouldn't communicate with Daisy about the guests wanting breakfast in their hand. Like, the guests had said, we don't want to sit down for breakfast. Just give us a burrito. So Daisy says they don't want to sit down for breakfast. Well, they have to sit down for breakfast.
Yeah, like, that's not your call, my friend. It's actually the guest call. And she was just communicating. I thought that was weird too. Danny, the Brazilian second stew. What do you think about her? I think she's going to be kind of a badass because she just gets on with her shit.
I need a minute to remember her.
Okay.
Oh,
so
yes.
She's the Brazilian
she's the one that's looking after the third stew.
Yes.
And
doing her motherfucking job. I think this is the first time we've seen like a second stew really just direct the third. Like,
well, I think it's the first time though that a chief stew has really felt like they've got a second stew that they can just go, you need to take care of her. And that's fine. And I think you're right. She's done that.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see how that all works.
Is it Sydney, the second stew? The third stew?
No, Sydney is, Allie is the third stew. Sydney is the female deckhand.
Allie's the vegan.
Yes.
And she's kind of new to it all, not that experienced.
Yeah, pretty green. And I think that's why Danny is like telling her step by step how to do things. But that's how you deal with a green person, not like somebody who has experience.
Yeah.
She's handling
also,
it correct.
I feel like too many people come into like entry level jobs, like third stew jobs, and then get annoyed when people are telling them what to do.
Right? It's like,
do you know what I mean?
What you signed up for.
This is the job. I'm just teaching you. I'm not going to do it like and give you a fucking gold star sticker every time. I'm just going
No,
to
but
tell you,
yeah,
do
and
this.
you can have shots when the guests leave. So
Yeah,
that's your gold star. Do your job and you can drink.
100%.
All right,
Who else?
shall we move outside with Gary, the first
Yes.
mate?
Now, um, I'm going to
I
keep an open mind about this guy, but I can't help but just have like echoes of other
Yep.
South African deckhands that have shown misogynistic traits
Oh my
ringing
gosh.
through my head.
Every time this man opened his mouth, my eyes could not have rolled further back into my head. I was just like, ugh.
And he'd
Again.
be like, "Oh, it's only Joe. Of course, I respect women, but it's like, well, then
You
don't
don't,
talk like
dude.
we can't talk like this anymore. Like, let's just be
No.
clear. It's not okay. It
Yeah.
needs to stop.
Yeah.
You
Just
look
learn.
like a dick.
A massive dick with bad hair. I'm sorry. His long hair is not good.
Bad hair.
He looks like Helen from the PTA. Like he's got like bad mom hair.
I mean, to be fair, I've got bad mom hair at the moment, but that's because I've had 2.5 months of fucking lockdown. Also,
yeah, it looks quite cute right now. It's all like plaited up and nice.
Yeah.
Like that's not bad mom hair. Like his is like 80s mom hair.
Yeah,
like from a different decade. That's like a little bit feathered.
Well, it looks a little bit like that time in Friends when Monica got the Dudley Moore cut instead of the Demi Moore cut. Do you remember when Phoebe cut her hair? Looks a bit like that, doesn't it? That's what it looks like.
Yes, it does. That's what it looks like.
We've also got Colin, the chief engineer.
Yes, which is the first time we've had an engineer.
Well, I thought that.
Screen.
But then I thought in the last BBS we didn't. Yeah, see?
Yeah.
I went through exactly the same thought process. And then I realized it was the tall guy with the kid in the last season.
Yeah, that knew all the different places that you could fuck on a boat. And he like made them alliterative. It was brilliant.
Yeah, we couldn't remember that, but we can't remember his name.
Priorities.
Followed by Sydney, who's the female deckhand.
Yeah, who like Glenn is like letting drive the boat and everything. Like
yeah, she looks like a badass.
She looks like a badass, but she was like born on a sailboat. Like she's been on sailboats her entire life.
And then there's Jean-Luc.
Yes,
who isn't
giant.
French, but I'm always going to say it avec an accent française.
Well, I mean, you have to. That's his name,
Jean-Luc.
Right? Yeah, for sure. I won't even try because, Americans and French accents do not mix.
I don't know. I think you could give it a good shot. But Jean-Luc is 6'9", and I am feeling for this guy in this episode.
He can't fit in the bed.
Listen, there's nothing worse than sleep deprivation. You do the stupidest things when you haven't slept.
Yeah. I mean, anybody who's been a parent at all could tell you exactly how it is. It's a fucking nightmare.
And then to be the one that pours gasoline on the deck. And that's not his fault. Like somebody has put gasoline in a cleaning bottle. So like
for sure.
But
I had a real issue when Gary was all passive aggressive and fucking woke him up for like not doing all the jobs, even though like he was up all night
and left the light on. Like, do you know that childish like just walked out
that was
and left the light on?
Move. That's not cool.
And this is the thing with Gary. I know we're going to see this. We're going to see this obnoxious, arrogant behavior that just echoes of Ashton and all of that bullshit. And I don't want to stereotype, but I feel like we've seen it in these South African men that keep coming onto this ship.
For sure. I mean, it's definitely
it's a pattern.
It is a pattern. Who is the one? Because doesn't somebody talk to Gary about him not like Jean-Luc not being able to sleep? Was it Danny, the Irish girl?
Oh, does she? I missed that.
Not Danny. Somebody does. It's Daisy. Sorry, guys. You're gonna have to give me at least a week to get all these like new names.
You're gonna have to give me like 4 weeks.
But yeah, I think somebody like brings it to attention. He was like, like just fucking blew it off. And it's like, all right, you're a tool.
Yeah, he is a complete tool. But I'm excited to see they've got some guests which seem a little volatile.
Oh yes. The primary and her husband have a bit of a falling out.
Yeah. And I don't blame her. frankly.
Oh,
It's
because
just
I mean, wasn't it like the celebration of her parents' life? And he's like, boats and hoes, boats and hoes. It's like, motherfucker, your wife is having a serious moment.
yeah, because it happened right when somebody had asked her about her dad. She's like explaining, talking about her dad that's died, and this is the dinner to commemorate him. He's like, "Oh, where's that another shot? Let's do another shot."
Oh my God. I mean, I'm going to just go out there. And if any of you are married to men named Rusty, then I'm sorry if this is fucking offensive, but I have never met a respectful, nice Rusty ever in my life. Every Rusty I have ever met has been a fucking drunk asshole.
I feel like the name Rusty has exactly the same energy as like a white wife beater vest.
Yes,
You
easily.
know what I
And they
mean?
drive like old cars.
Trucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like
I mean,
Trans Ams.
I don't know what that is. What's a Trans Am?
Oh, it's like this like old muscle car from like the 80s.
Got it. Got it. Yes,
Yeah.
that then.
It's that vibe and underage drinking. Like all that stuff goes around a guy named Rusty.
Yeah. I mean, underage drinking, then I could claim Rusty, but
Yeah.
you know. Anyway, it looks like it's going to be exciting. I want to see some feist. I think we're going to get it because I think Gary's a cock enough to make it happen.
Absolutely. Also, everybody's single on the boat. Nobody is in any sort of
Right.
relationships at all.
And you mentioned earlier that they're all quarantined
Yeah.
on the boat.
Yeah.
There's nothing like living in
Shit's
each
gonna
other's
hit the
pockets
fan,
to cause
I
some
think.
drama.
Exactly.
Amazing. Well, we will await the rest of the season with bated breath. But for now, let's move on to the Real Housewives of Dallas.
Yeah, so I guess if we want to continue, like this one's hard because obviously they went to Austin last week. Was it last week? No,
Yeah.
no. There was a gap in between. So we already talked about the first half of the trip. They didn't have an episode last week. Now we're in the next part of the Austin
That's
trip.
right. They didn't do it last week.
Sorry, guys.
Which was super convenient for us. So thanks for that, guys.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks, Dallas.
But we pick up in the middle of this dinner where it's all kicked off between Deandra and Carrie. We'll come to that in a minute. But Tiffany is such an interesting castmate this season because I feel like she's very different from all the other women, and her navigating them and them trying to figure her out is a really interesting process to watch.
100%. I think, and then this is my opinion, I could be wrong, but I feel like during this dinner anyways, Tiffany is really trying to listen to what Stephanie and a little bit of what Cameron is trying to tell her and like take it on board, tell them why she's that way, but also like take ownership that she is that way, but then also try to be more aware of how that makes other people feel to a certain degree.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And I think Cam has a point. Like, it is annoying when you are, when you're the person that's always correcting, or if you laugh at somebody for not knowing what a word meant. Like, I get that is uncomfortable, especially in that particular instance, because I felt like Cam could easily have just pretended to know what cathartic meant. And she actually just went, "Oh, what does it mean?" Like, I don't think we laugh at people there.
No.
But I think that Tiffany sort of heard it, explained it, and you know what Cam's like though? It's like she goes on and on and on.
It's fucking painful. Like, I want to jump in the screen and yell at Cam, leave her the fuck alone. She's heard you. She's told you she'll change. Fucking drop the bone. You're worse than your untrained puppy.
Yeah, and I was surprised at Steph in some ways because I think Steph came after Tiffany a little bit hard.
Yeah.
Like, to sit there in front of everybody and go, "Well, I didn't feel welcome at your house." Didn't feel very Stephanie to me.
No, it didn't. No, it didn't to me either. And I don't know if she's like reacting to the Brandy shit going on or, just what, but it was very not Stephanie. Like, I don't know.
Think Tiffany handled that brilliantly. The way she explained herself and
Stephanie took it the right way. Like, okay, cool, we can move on. Because I mean, this is what I don't understand. Like, I feel like Cam is just being kind of a mean girl. Like, yeah, I know things that Tiffany does is fucking annoying, but also she has already apologized. She said that she wants you to call her out the next time she does it. She's really going to try not to do it. That's your fucking resolution. Like,
Done.
stop raking her over the fucking coals and being a dick.
Well, the thing is, I think Cameron likes it because I think we can all agree Cameron has a point, but she loves to actually have a point. She's like, finally,
Yeah.
I've got something that like I'm right on, and so she just has to keep laboring it, and it's
Also,
just like,
Cameron, pick up a fucking book and maybe learn what the words fucking mean. I'm sorry,
yeah,
but like, it happens all the time. It's not like a one-off occurrence. Like,
yeah.
come on. Maybe
She
people are actually confused on what you mean.
yeah. Sometimes you need to clarify because
Or use
sometimes the wrong
shorter
word is
words.
yeah. use
Like,
use
don't try to
smaller
sound
words.
smart. Don't try
Yeah,
to sound smart. Just use the word you know. It's
yeah,
fine.
exactly. Stick with that. That's fine. Um, Interesting as well, this dynamic that we get between Brandy and Tiffany, and how there's a real hangover for Brandy
Yeah,
after the whole the racist video that got called out. um I feel for them both in this, but I
for
feel like
sure.
Brandy needs to recognize what's really happening here rather than what she thinks is happening.
For yeah. I mean, the whole thing with like the medication, Tiffany was in no way fucking implying anything that Brandy fucking thought she was implying. And I
Like, she
love how
wasn't trying to
Stephanie calls
roofie
it
them.
out.
She didn't. Yeah, it's not like she was accusing them of trying to roofie them. It wasn't. But that's how Brandy's suddenly in tears. Like, I think it's like, what?
She thinks I'm trying to murder them. It's like, she doesn't. She just pointed out that there are two different medications and like
I'm
telling
baffled.
other people, like, get something to drink. It's not one that dissolves. Oh my gosh. And you're absolutely right. It's 100% of like Brandy's hangover about her racist video and her trying to learn. Like, now she's afraid to be herself, to like, she's afraid of being unintentionally racist now.
And I get that. Like, that's
For
really
sure.
normal and natural. Like, of course, she's been burned badly and she's had the confidence kicked out of her. But that's what this is.
Yeah.
And Carrie's right. Carrie says, look, speak to
Right.
Tiffany about it. But rather than do what Carrie says, which is like ask her questions and like figure it out because it'll be
Right.
fine, she almost accuses Tiffany of not allowing her to be herself.
Yeah. Yeah. It was not. I
It
feel
was
like Brandy is
really
just kind of a mess
uncomfortable.
right now. Like, and
She's pregnant as well,
she's
right?
pregnant and doesn't know. So I'm sure the hormonal shit going on with her is not making her brain not make sense
A hundred,
easily.
a hundred
We've
percent. And
all
let's,
been
I
there
mean,
as
and let's just
moms.
be clear, poor all these people that are like, you can't even have one glass of wine while you're pregnant. I mean, I know that that's the rules and you shouldn't, but like, I'm sure that Brandy's baby is totally toughening up under what she is doing to it. Because how many
Absolutely.
women,
Yep.
don't know they're pregnant and go on massive benders?
Do
Bless
you
her.
remember when I was pregnant? I was pregnant with Heath at Charlie and Emma's wedding and didn't know it. I
Were
didn't
you?
find out till the week after. Yeah, because I took a test the week after I was pregnant. I was like, oh shit. I drank all the champagne in Kew Gardens
In London.
and smoked
Mind you,
all
do
the
you know what?
cigarettes.
I'm gonna tell a truth as well. I'm almost certain that there was, I can't remember which pregnancy it was. It will have been the second because the first I would have been a bit more careful about, but the
Right.
second, it's like whatever.
Yeah.
Um, I think I delayed taking the test because until
Were you
after a
going
big
out?
party, yeah. Because I was like, listen, it's one thing knowing you're pregnant and getting off your
Right.
tits,
Let's just be in
but
the
if I
gray.
don't know I'm pregnant,
For sure.
then who can blame me?
Yeah. Hey, for post bag next week, you guys tell us. Tell us your drunken
Tell us
early
how fucked
pregnancy
up you got
stories.
when you were pregnant. I mean, God, there's a lawsuit waiting to happen. Obviously, please don't drink while you're pregnant. This is not a clever idea. We are just,
Right.
it's funny, Karen.
We're just being honest. Like,
We're
look,
just being honest.
we've all been there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also, by the way, had a glass of wine fairly regularly throughout the whole of my pregnancy.
Well,
I'll
for
own that.
those of you
It's
not
fine.
in the UK, doctors actually say it's fine when you're in Europe and you are pregnant. They say it's okay. So it's
Well,
just
they
a
say it in the
difference
UK
in
too.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Well, Europe,
right.
UK. I know you guys technically
not in
aren't
the yeah.
really a part of Europe anymore, but you were when I lived there. But yeah, I mean, when I found out I was pregnant with my eldest, the doctor was like, you guys need to go out and celebrate. Go get a, glass of champagne, have some pasta, and just enjoy it. So,
Yeah.
it's just a
But
cultural
each to their
difference.
own, of course.
Absolutely.
We're not promoting
Just listen
drinking.
to your doctors. We're obviously not doctors or
We're not
any sort
doctors.
of.
We don't know what we're talking about.
No. Anyway, so moving on. I completely agree with you. Brandy really botches that conversation. And I really hope they can get to a place where like they can all just be normal.
Well,
I mean, I
the
feel like
teaser
Tiffany's
shows
being normal.
totally, and the teaser. I feel like Tiffany's normal is highlighting their crazy.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? It's like now I'm
Yeah.
starting to see how batshit these girls actually are because Tiffany's coming in and being a normal human being, and they are. Even Stephanie's a bit
like a normal working mom.
Yeah,
She's just a normal lady.
She really is. But it's but the teaser shows that Tiffany actually leaves early, so I don't think this goes very well, and I think Tiffany's just struggling with this dynamic and how to manage it.
Which I think is probably how any normal person would feel. Because
and also she's got a lot on her plate, right?
Yeah.
She doesn't have the energy to deal with the drama.
No, I mean, it's COVID. She's a fucking doctor. She's been working her ass off because somebody actually I got kicked out of a reality TV group this week on
Can we
Facebook.
name it or not?
I don't even remember. Like, I'm a part of so many of them. I don't even remember which one.
You got kicked out of one?
I got kicked out of one, or I got told off, and then I just left because I was like, well, fuck it. I don't want to deal with this shit anymore. But this lady made a post
Did you slam the door on your way
I
out?
did. I took my fucking toys and went home.
You should have done. Good. Fuck them.
No on reality TV anymore. Yeah, so this woman posted this post about I don't know why Tiffany is complaining. Like, she's just a fucking anesthesiologist. It's not like she's doing anything. And I was like, I think I posted a GIF that was just like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know how much anybody really, I mean, and I don't want to sound like an asshole here, but I don't know how much people know about like ventilators and things like that. But with COVID, it attacks your fucking lungs and you can't breathe. So therefore, the anesthesiologist comes in and puts the motherfucking ventilator in your face so that you can breathe.
And even outside of COVID,
anesthesiologists are doctors, my friend.
If you have to have an operation, you're going to notice if the anesthesiologist isn't there.
But I was just like,
not only are you not going to feel anything, but they keep you alive.
They keep you fucking alive.
Their job is to keep you alive.
They watch your things the entire time. They watch all of your vitals. It is their sole job to make sure you come out of this surgery okay.
Yeah. So to underestimate her role is
fucking bonkers.
Offensive. It's offensive.
And that's what I thought. So my comment got flagged up for being offensive, yet her fucking whole start of the post was not. So I was like, I don't need to be a part of this group if this shit is okay.
They're not our people. They are not our people.
Not at all. They're not you guys. They're not us. And it's just like, I can't imagine the stress that she's been under. Also having kids.
Twins.
Dealing with whether or not she wants to be a stay-at-home mom or not. And then dealing with these crazy women who the majority of them don't have jobs. This is their job.
It is batshit. But talking about that, it's interesting to hear, sorry, my words went wrong. To see Cam, Stephanie, and Tiffany talking on their, I'm going to call it a hike because they call it a hike, but they walked 50 yards and sat down and ate crisps.
It's a Texas hike.
It's a picnic. Anyway, so they talk about their different views, and it was interesting to see Steph and Cam come together, find common ground on kind of their role in their marriage and how they feel unheard a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, they both really want more say in their lives and are a little over their husbands just kind of handling them. Which
and
I get more from Stephanie's point of view. I feel like Cam makes Court have to handle her. I feel like Cam's reactions to things are not that of a grown ass person.
Yeah.
So Court has to handle her.
Yeah. I mean, it's normally we kind of joke about how I've actually got 3 children, and you include Jimmy in it. But with Court and Cam, I feel like Court
Yeah.
is kind of parenting Cam a little bit. And so Cam needs to grow up. If she wants to be at the big girls table, she needs to start acting like a big girl.
Absolutely. Like you have to be able to handle disappointment and when things follow through. Like you can't make him have to pick you up from that and have to manage all your feelings on that too. Like you're a
Yeah.
big girl, you can manage your feelings.
You can't take
It's
to your
okay.
bed for 2 weeks because a house sale falls through.
You can't have the vapors.
You can't do
It's
that.
not the 20s anymore.
No. But and then of course on the flip side, Tiffany's like, so interesting because I just want to be home more. And you know,
Yeah.
the grass is never greener, right? And the balance is impossible to find.
I do love how Tiffany wants to be a stay-at-home mom, so I'm just going to cut down to 4 days of work a week. Like I can't be home with them all the time, but I'll take one day.
And even when she's home,
I'll take them to school.
Yeah, and then I'm going to do my hair and have lunch. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not judging. I hear
No, I think she needs that shit
for her mental health. She needs that shit.
Yeah.
But you know, being at home with the kids is not what it's cracked up to be. Being at work and never seeing your kids is also not what it's cracked up to be.
Absolutely. And then the end of this episode, we start to see the Brandy and Tiffany chat, which I think Tiffany fucking handles like a queen when she's just like, I want you to be yourself. I think you're fucking amazing. Like I was done with that conversation the last time we had it.
Yeah, I think she very gently says, it's not me, it's you, in a very gentle way. I don't think Brandy hears it very well.
No, I think it's all going to explode because it's a to be continued, right?
It is. But before we do that, we did miss out briefly talking about, as much as we are not Cam fans, she pulled off a great prank.
Oh my God. That Texas Chainsaw Massacre prank was fucking hilarious. I mean, literally, shit her pants. And Steph peed herself, which I would have 100% peed myself as well. Like when you've had two kids, you have to prepare to be scared.
You're not ready for Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
No!
Like, I could probably be ready for 2 or 3 jumps on the trampoline, but my pelvic floor, I need to train an awful lot more before I'm ready for Texas Chainsaw
Or at least just clench up before something's going to happen.
Like, yeah, I need a heads up.
Yeah.
And a pad.
For sure. Yeah.
But I have never shat myself. Like, God, touch the wood.
Oh, I totally have. I've done like a shart. I've done a shart.
Outside of being in labor, I've never shat myself.
Yeah, I have. I had like the stomach flu one time, and I thought it was safe to do a fart, and it wasn't.
Never safe. But yeah, so I love that she shat herself. I mean, that is just
and said that she did. I mean, this is the thing. Like, Tiffany is a normal person and like is being who she is and just wants to like be part of the group. That's all she wants. And these girls are making it so difficult.
I know, that's it, exactly.
Really quick though, one other thing. Deandra and Carrie come back together and make up, and something fucking dawned on me that I had never thought of until Carrie was talking about her childhood, is that they're both fucking only children. That's why they're acting like spoiled assholes.
I mean, it all just makes perfect sense. And to watch them edit it so that they say exactly the same thing, it's like, guys, we just need to knock your heads together and recognize that you guys are actually the same person. And they did just let it go. Like, eventually, Brandy did the hippie heart holding thing, and it worked, right?
Thank God.
So I'm glad that they're back on good terms.
We'll see how long it lasts, but Dallas brought it, man. That was an entertaining episode from Dallas.
It was. Dallas is bringing it. I'm happy to have it on the lineup. And another show that's bringing it is, of course, New Jersey.
Oh my God!
Teresa never fails to bring it.
You know what? I look forward to this show. This is the last show that we ever have to watch, that we watch weekly for the podcast. It comes on Wednesday, which is brilliant for me because I can watch it on Thursday and like don't have to cram anything in Friday morning. But I love it. I love New Jersey. I want the Husbands of New Jersey to have a spinoff show. I'd fucking watch that shit in a heartbeat. I love all of them. I love this franchise. I think it is actually my favorite.
Well, me too. And let's talk quickly because we did miss last week. But of course, the shit hit the fan when Jackie and Teresa had the chat, and Jackie sort of
used an analogy.
She confronted Teresa about these things. Teresa doubled down. Teresa couldn't just say, "You're right. I'm sorry, I fucked up. I shouldn't have said it."
That is all she had to fucking say.
All she had to say. So Jackie used an analogy which obviously is way over Teresa's head.
Well,
By
and
saying
let's be real. Like Jackie knew the minute Gia's name came out of her mouth, it
she
would
was pushing.
elicit a certain sort of response. Like it was bad to use Gia in the analogy.
Yeah. Anyway, it all kicked off. What I love though is that Gia is the voice of reason. Like Gia is literally saying what the rest of the world is saying, which is,
Right.
Mum, listen, she said something bad about me, but you said something really bad about her husband. So it's just tit for tat. So just apologize and it's done.
Right. Move on. It's not that big of a fucking deal.
Like when your 20-year-old kid
Yeah.
is the smartest person in your room, you have to sort of take a minute and look at
Yeah.
yourself, right?
Yeah.
But no, Teresa's never been very good at self-reflection. It's not
No.
a strength of hers.
She's not gonna fucking apologize. She's not gonna do
I
it.
mean, she will
She'll
die
die.
before she
Yep.
apologizes.
100%.
She will. And interestingly, Jackie will die before she apologizes. I feel like she's not going to apologize for that.
No.
And as much
They're
as
at an
I think that
impasse.
they both owe each other an apology, I would be a bit disappointed if Jackie did it first, because I
Fuck
feel
yeah.
like I get that Jackie has to apologize, but I think that Teresa has to figure this shit out and make the first move.
For sure. I mean, how many years do we still have to go with like Teresa not having a fucking clue or any fucking self-awareness? Like what you did was fucked. And you
And
shouldn't have
she's
done
just
it.
got these double standards.
Oh my God. Like there is no way. I mean, we saw clips. We saw a whole fucking montage of people telling her Joe was fucking around on her. And never once was she calm, collected, or even bothered to
She
have a
didn't
normal
just
sit down.
let it go.
She fucking raged and threatened people's lives, and that was it. And then
She's
never talked to
raged
them
her
again.
way
I
through
mean,
like
that's why Kim
15
D has never been on the
seasons.
show again.
No, I
Yeah.
mean, she's raged her
Because,
way
I mean,
through
he
15
literally has been, there were cheating rumors about Joe literally every season. There was
from the
no
get-go.
way she just blew it off and thought it was no big deal because she was secure in her marriage. That woman
Yeah.
has shouted at every single other female in probably the tri-state area about Joe's fucking cheating rumors.
Yeah. I mean, it blows my mind that this is not apparent to her, but apparently it's not. She is the victim because, anyway, it is what it is. We'll see
Yeah.
this play out. I'm telling you, this is the whole season. This is the
Yeah,
whole
for sure.
season.
It set the tone.
And interestingly, I thought it was fun on the boys' night where we saw the boys talking about it, and the boys never failed to like impress me. They're like, "What do you think?
No.
What do you think?" And they're like, "Do you know what? I'm going to stand by my friend. I haven't
Yeah,
seen any proof. I'm going to say he's faithful."
absolutely. I
Come on,
did think it was
girls.
interesting how Marge's Joe, though, was like, well, I heard that rumor too, but it's because it came from within my house. And that may be. And so a lot of, again, this is another like social media wormhole, but a lot of people are like, oh, well, fucking Marge has been talking about it too. Why is she yelling at Teresa? Because there are some diehard Teresa apologists out there that can see nothing fucking wrong with anything Teresa does. However, I would argue that just talking shit behind somebody's back in your house is far different than going to a party and talking shit to every single person there about who the party is for.
Systematically going through every single person.
Yes.
Like, if Teresa had sat Jackie down not on the day of her husband's birthday
Right.
and said, "Listen, these are rumors I've heard. I don't know what."
You know what?
Fine.
Even if Teresa had sat Jackie down at that party, I think it would have been different. I think if
Absolutely.
she had taken her to the side and was like, fuck, this is what I heard. Like, this is what's going on around.
Teresa's making it out like she's doing Jackie a favor.
Teresa knew exactly what the fuck she was doing.
I mean, I would want to know if my husband was screwing around, but I wouldn't want to hear that you'd been telling everybody at my party.
I'd like you to pick up the phone and call me and just say, hey, this is somebody fucking told me this shit. So shit's going around.
You need to sort this shit out and shut it down.
Yeah.
Anyways, I mean, they're in Lake George and they decide to do this prank on Joey. Now, I have to say, like, when this was happening, I was like, this is not going to go. This is like the worst idea for a prank.
For sure.
But good on Joey Gorga for taking it like a fucking champ.
Hell yes. I mean, I think this speaks to just how strong, like, Joe and Melissa are actually together. I mean, he did believe his sister, which was kind of fucked up.
But he did say it was my sister. Like, I
Right.
get that. Like,
Yeah,
if my
for
sister
sure.
called me and told me that my husband was cheating on me,
Right.
I'd give that more weight, right?
For sure. Yeah, rather than just like some rando like texting you
Yeah.
or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I like when the three of them get along because I think it's a fun dynamic. Like, it's fun when Teresa's in a happy place and she can have fun with Melissa and they can like gang up on Joe. Like, that's a nice
Totally.
normal dynamic, and Joe just takes it on the chin. I love the way he continued it with the
Passes it on.
dudes.
Yeah.
I thought that was amazing. Yeah, I have a lot of time for Joe Gorga and, their crew. I loved that the girls refer to getting gorged
Yeah. I
when
mean, and
all
they're
their
not
husbands
wrong.
are hammered. No,
They're not
no.
wrong. But
The
also,
only two people that we don't see puke are Joe and Frank. Everybody else gets fucking wasted.
I mean, I think we're going to see a lot of Joey Gorga though, because he's
Yeah.
he's getting his very own storyline. This Michelle, who's a realtor friend of Teresa's, has been saying that Joey hasn't paid her husband for a speaking event that he set up. I love that Joey Gorga sees himself as a motivational speaker. You know, like his addiction to like inspirational quotes on Instagram is commendable.
Yes.
Um, but an Instagram quote does not a motivational speaker make. That being said, you got to love the chutzpah. So apparently he owes
Absolutely.
him tens of thousands of pounds, which seems a bit incongruous. If he just hasn't paid him for speaking at an event, surely it's not tens of thousands of dollars.
I mean, who knows? I mean, it's not like this guy's Bill Clinton, like getting $1 million for speaking events, like Michelle's husband. Like,
I know, right?
come
But
on.
then there's other rumors of Joey like saying that a kitchen renovation was his and it wasn't his. And I mean, I
And
don't
like,
want to
how
believe this
convenient
about
did Michelle?
Joey.
How convenient was it that Michelle goes to Jen and tells her all this as well? Like,
Yeah.
you just like, oh, I know you have a problem with them. I'm gonna come talk to you about it.
Yeah.
So we'll
No,
see. We'll see how this all goes.
we will, but it is exciting. It's always nice to watch Jersey. You know, you're always going to get the drama.
Yeah, and can we also just talk about how fucking hot Dolores is now? I mean, I think
I,
she's always been a gorgeous girl, but like her sitting on the bed with like her little like tie-dye tube top and shorts, I'm like, this
I
woman
know.
is like in her 50s, has grown children, and she's a fucking smoke show. And that David better be fucking scared.
No idea what he's got. He's got no idea what he's got. I just want Frank Senior to step up and recognize and just be the man that Dolores wants. Because also, when she's talking to Jen in that situation on the bed, she doesn't about the
Yeah.
money. She
Right.
doesn't say, "Oh, I wish somebody would tell me if David was like." Those rumors
No.
were going around about David. She says, "I hope somebody would tell me if it was Frank Catania." So, I mean, that he is her first priority.
He is. And I mean, I just wish he could just give her like I will never like because he's even said like, look, if I could give her 100% commitment that I would not cheat on her again, I'd be with her again in a heartbeat. But I can't make that kind of commitment. Like, there's something to be said for Frank's self-awareness.
Totally.
That's just like,
100%.
I'm not gonna fuck her over again. Like, she's
Yeah.
amazing. I'm not doing that shit, so I can't even get into it because I'll fuck it up.
Oh, bless him. I hope that they get back together at some point.
I do too, but I mean, like the whole thing is we didn't even talk about it last week on how like Frank had a slip and fall and hurt himself, and so he lived with David.
I can't. Like, I also need Frank. Like, I can't decide whether Frank's just like keeping the peace in sort of keeping David on side, but I can't understand why he's not looking at David going, "You're kind of a dick."
Well, I mean, he kind of called him out like when they went to the shooting range together, and then like afterwards, he's like, "Look, dude, you're a cool dude, but you're a shitty boyfriend."
Yeah.
And like, I mean, I think that's kind of all Frank can say because I mean, it's not like there's a commitment
It's not
there, but
really his place either, is
it's
it?
not his place. There's not a ring on Dolores's finger. I mean, David only happens to be like letting him live there, taking care of his son. Like, he's doing everything. Maybe it's the
My
throuple
word.
that makes it work. Who knows?
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's what they need. Right. Listen, that's it. I
Yeah,
think
that's
we've
it
wrapped
for
it up.
us.
We will be back next week. We are also, fear not, going to be doing a mini-sode on the is it a mini-sode or is it a Patreon content on the
I
old
don't think we've
Meghan and
decided
Harry?
yet.
We haven't decided. We'll see. But we're going to be
Yeah,
doing a show based on the Oprah interview with Harry and Meghan,
which is
because how
this
could we
weekend.
not?
I know.
Um,
It
well,
looks
it's
fucking
Monday for
spicy.
us.
Oh, is it? So it's Sunday. So all your US listeners, it's Sunday night on CBS. Set your DVRs to record it. I think it's on at like
UK, it's
5
9
or 7
p.m. Oh, is it? In UK, it's 9 p.m. on ITV
on Monday.
Monday.
Interesting. So nobody from the US call and give spoilers to the UK about the Oprah
No,
interview.
I'm not going to go on the internet on Monday.
No, and then also there's another there's a doc coming out called For Real, the story on reality TV. That comes out on the 25th of March that I think we may be trying to do. And Keeping Up with the Kardashians final season is starting on the 18th of this month. So March is
It's
fucking
their
happening.
swan song. It's their
It
swan song. They are
is.
out of here. So, I mean, I don't think it's going to be a very long season. I think it's going to be like
It'll probably be
8 to
8
10
episodes.
episodes. Yeah,
I mean,
something like
that's
that.
typically what they are anyways. But I have heard rumors that they are in talk with Hulu to do something. So I don't think it's the last we've seen of the Kardashians, but
I don't think
we'll
we ever
see.
assumed it would be, did we?
No, no.
Anyway, listen, let's wrap that up because my kids have
Yes,
been on their own for an hour and a half. God only
they
knows.
could be dead.
They could be. I mean, I did hear them screaming my name about half an hour ago, and I
Oh,
thought,
they're fine.
well, I thought, yeah. I mean, first of all, can you please look down at the two things that stick out at the end of your body and come and talk to me if you need me? Like, if it was that urgent, I feel somebody would finally figure
For
out that
sure. They would
legs
have.
would work.
Yeah.
Um,
I feel sometimes the key is just staying out of their business and letting them handle it because actually 9 times out of 10, they sort it out. At least with my kids, they do. I
totally.
really struggle, but I really try to stay out of it.
Listen, I gave them McDonald's.
I'm not
I gave them
interested.
How to Train Your Dragon 2, and I told them that
That
not
sounds
to
like an amazing
fucking
evening.
break anything. So we'll see. We'll see.
Absolutely.
But listen,
All right,
thank you
guys.
guys as ever giving us your time. We really, really, really appreciate it.
And remember,
Smart people watch reality TV too. Bye-bye.
bye-bye.
Please subscribe, rate, and review TV My Husband Hates wherever you listen to your podcast. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram at TV My Husband Hates and join the Facebook group to keep the conversation going when the podcast ends. If Twitter's your thing, you'll find us at TV Husbands Hate. Theme music and production for TV My Husband Hates is by Jimmy Sims.